Who am I talking to? I'm talking to coaches and consultants, entrepreneurs really, but I think it's coaches and consultants that depend on that emotional connection with their clients. And coaches and consultants should be offering a high ticket transformation, and the cinematic drama, the high production value of our visuals here, they're gonna help a client understand that your program is premium, is high ticket, and that's what we're doing here at Origin Story Media. So my name is Nico, and I partner with coaches to elevate their YouTube content. I teach them the 20% of what I know to get 80% of my results, and I'm talking about this aesthetic that you see here. This is footage that people pay me $5,000 to come and shoot their weddings to get. But I'm now having my friends and family and even strangers film this footage of me because I know the right conditions, including the lens. This isn't a film school. This is learning just the tiny little bit to make sure that you elevate your content, give it that cinematic quality that helps people essentially just emotionally connect to you and your program. Most coaches think they need better lighting or a more expensive camera or a nice office with a fancy background, and they're wrong. Shoot outdoors. There's nothing more beautiful than a natural setting. There's just no way you're gonna make your office look as good as this. You might be outside, you might have golden light at sunset, but if you're right up against a wall or a bush or something like that, it's just not gonna look as beautiful. You want that depth behind you. That's the cinematic look. That's another reason why outside is better than inside, because indoors in an office, you're gonna be cramped, the wall's gonna be probably right behind you. So this is the most important choice you're gonna make, is where are you gonna film? And it doesn't have to be like, I have to choose the most beautiful time of day and the most beautiful location I can think of every single time. In fact, some variation will be nice. But the point is, it's not just in your sterile, boring office every day with a LED light, making your face look blue. So I have developed a skill and a system for going through a lot of footage and picking out highlights. Picking out the parts that were poetic, moving, said with passion, possibly informational, educational, or maybe telling a part of the story that's really important. And then you end up having all these different highlights and you kind of weave them together with music, with the B-roll to create a movie. So right now I'm just giving YouTube the data it needs to find coaches out there like yourself who go, wow, this is actually really beautiful footage. I wonder if I had that kind of footage and that kind of production quality on my videos, would that help me connect with people? Would that drive more business? Could I serve more people? The fact that you're here listening to me, well, sort of proof in itself. We're constantly being both the guide and the hero in our own story, right? In our own lives. You see, aperture is basically how open the lens is getting, and a lower f-stop is a wider aperture. The wide aperture lets more light in, but it also creates that shallow depth of field that you see here. That blurriness of the background is what makes stuff look cinematic, and that's only possible with an f-stop of, right now I'm shooting at 1.8. Okay, we just need a lens that can open up like that, and we need to set the conditions like that. Pretty easy? Not quite. Usually when you buy a camera, you're gonna get what's called a zoom lens, and basically lenses fall into either zoom lenses, where we can zoom in on something and zoom out, or what are called prime lenses. And prime lenses are one fixed focal length. And that's what this is. This is a 50mm prime lens. And the B-roll that you see, it's all shot in it with a 50mm prime lens. Well, here's the problem. Zoom lenses often only open up to 4, 5, 6, something like that. You're not gonna get the blurry background with a zoom lens. At least unless you're willing to pay, I don't know, $2,000, $3,000 for a lens. This lens that I'm speaking to right now is less than $200. So you're talking a 10x increase in price if you want a zoom lens to get the blurry footage. Once we open up the aperture that much, it becomes very shallow depth of field. That's also going to bring in a bunch more light. And if you're outdoors in broad daylight, it's going to be overexposed. There's basically nothing you can do except for get sunglasses for your lens that is opening up that wide. So what does that look like? It's called an ND filter, and I like using variable ND filters. A variable ND filter you can actually turn and make it brighter or darker just by turning this little filter on the end. So this is how I achieve the cinematic look. This is how everybody achieves this blurry background. With a video camera, you have to have the ND filter. You need to get a lens that allows yourself to open up, but you're also going to need to get that ND filter. You probably are going to want to get a prime lens, and I recommend a 50mm prime lens. This is, of course, just one piece of the origin method and how I get this beautiful footage from strangers or my dad in his backyard, etc. So if you want to know how you can do this, how you can reproduce this exact same stuff for your own brand, go watch the free training on the website. And in fact, right now, the free training has the exact lens that I use for that B-roll footage that looks so beautiful. I'm actually considering making that proprietary information and only revealing that information to my clients that I work with. For now, it's on the training, the free training that's on my website, originstory.media. And if you're not ready to do that yet, but you do find this valuable, then at least hit the subscribe button so you can see more videos like this. It's not about a ton of views, it's about who those views are. If I'm speaking to you right now and you're an entrepreneur, you're a coach of some kind, and you see the value in this offer and this partnership, you're my person. I don't need hundreds of views. I need you to come check out the training video, look at the website, see the offer, and go, wow, this actually is the right fit for me. I think, let me reach out to Nico and ask him. I do expect you to click right here so you can see the cinematic highlight reel of the first few videos I made. This is basically the origin story of Origin Story Media. Check it out.